Bam! Into the video. We'll see y'all later, right?
Bye, guys.
So Ronnie's been doing like a crap ton of work before I even got over here. The sun's already going down, but Ronnie's been working most of the day trying to get his 6-link kit on the 6-link, right?
Yeah.
On the C30.
That's what I call it. I mean, I don't know if it's officially called that, but that's what I call it.
Right on.
It's a 4-link with cantilever bars. So, I mean, there's 7 bars technically.
Right on. And we're trying to put a kit that's made for a 3-inch axle.
3.5.
3.5-inch axle to fit a
4-inch axle.
4-inch axle.
Yeah, axle tubes, the tubes.
Okay.
Here.
Right on.
So the guy built us new brackets here. But whether he didn't think of it or what, there's some like things that touch.
Some interference.
Yeah, interference, that's the word. So we had to do some janky stuff. We cut half the head off of a bolt over here.
Let's look at that.
Yeah, here, look.
Look at that bolt. Nice.
So
solid.
We did that because it was interfering really hard with this top link.
Keep in mind, it's going to be okay because we're just using the bolts to get everything in place, and then we're going to weld everything in place and take the bolts out and toss the bolts in the trash. So we're not running these, you know, sawed-off bolts, you know, trying to tow trailers and stuff with them.
This is, and that's why we're welding it. This is his bolt-in kit, and I think if you were just going to drive this truck around like most people drive their trucks around, I don't think this would be an issue. I think you'd be perfectly fine. But we want to tow stuff. Like eventually we really want like a 2-car enclosed or a 3-car wedge, and that's a lot of trailer to put on an axle that isn't welded in place.
Yeah.
It's just bolted in place. So
that's a lot of weight.
That's why we're going to weld all this stuff, just for the extra insurance. We'll weld these brackets on down here, inside and out, front and back. We're going to weld the bag bracket on, cantilever bracket, the 4-link bracket. All of it will get welded on, along with bolted on. So it'll have both bolts and it'll be welded on. Because we're not going to weld everywhere. We're not going to weld. We'll just do like a bead here, a bead here, bead here, bead here, and not go real crazy. But make sure it's all held on good.
Right on. Can we pull the jack out of the way, or is it holding the truck up?
It is not holding the truck up, but yes, I can pull the jack out of the way. Just hold on. I got to set it up. We'll have to do it kind of in tandem.
Okay.
There's nothing holding this side of the axle on. So this side of the axle will just kind of dump.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Pull that out. So we'll put this over here.
I just want to get a good shot of all this over here. And we could talk about it a little bit. We're going to show you what we did, and then we're going to show you how we did it. So we're going to give you a big view of how this looks completed, and then we're going to do it on the other side, and you'll get to see how we went about it. It took a little bit of guesswork, a little bit of figuring out with some of the things, but we got it squared away. So some of it is not completely bolted together yet. We've got some like clamps holding on, but everything is pretty much in place where it's going to be, more or less.
Or less.
More or less than more. All right, so this side is pretty much complete without being welded on.
Right. We'll tighten up some bolts and stuff, but we don't have to do that right now. We got to finish cutting this notch out, and then we can really figure out the travel. But as far as the actual kit is concerned, it's on.
Okay.
You know, it's mocked up 100%. There's nothing really we can change.
So go over the brackets and the arms real quick. From the back to the front or front to the back, however.
I guess we'll start here. So this is just your parallel bar mount, and so it goes to the frame, and that's what allows your axle to travel like up and down, right?
Yep, 2 parallel bars.
These connect it, and that's what keeps your axle from like pivoting.
Okay.
Right, because on a leaf spring, you have that, the spring does that.
Right.
So that's what this is replacing, basically, is the spring.
Okay.
Then, right here, we have our axle mount, this whole unit, and it goes all the way under and comes back up here and mounts to the 2 parallel bars. So it's a big U. It's actually one right here.
And that's just what holds everything to the axle.
Yeah, and so this is it. This is what it looks like. Boom.
Oh, right on.
So that's what's right there. And so it's a really big piece. And everything mounts to that for the axle.
Okay.
And so this is what controls the axle, and this is what lifts the axle. This is our cantilever bar.
Okay.
And I did some research trying to figure out exactly what is the best ride quality setup for a bag setup. And from what I read, bag on bar is better than bag on axle. So bag on axle is a little more stiff, whereas you put your bag on your bar, you have more leverage against the bag. Softens up the bag, but allows you to pick up the truck quicker.
Okay.
So that's supposed to be better. And so that's why I went with a kit like this. I liked it a little more. And yeah, this is just like some drop bracket that he makes. I'm not sure if it's necessarily necessary, but I think it is. That way it can do this number exactly what it's doing.
Yeah.
That way the axle can swing forward and swing back like it needs to.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's it. This is your bag bracket, and then this is your cantilever bar bracket. And that's what holds basically all the weight of the truck is right here.
Yeah.
So on this kit, what you do, let me find a piece. So these are riveted onto the truck here, and there's another one here. It's on the leaf spring there. One here and another one there, which is also on the leaf spring. You have to bust all the rivets out and then push them out. Well, the rivets aren't as big as the bolts, so now we have to go back with a 1/2-inch drill bit and drill all the holes that we're going to use for mounting. We got to drill all those bigger, then we can get our brackets on.
Okay.
So let's get to drilling.
Let's drill it.
Make sure you buy a nice drill bit to do this. I got these on Amazon, and they weren't that expensive. They're like $11. We'll put them in the description. But they are tearing through this. I had a set from Harbor Freight, couldn't even get through the first hole.
You looking at your nuts?
And my bolts. Both at the same time.
All right, show us where all you drilled.
So I drilled these 3 and this one because
Okay.
I can't get to these 2 without dropping the tank.
Okay. And we're welding it on anyway.
Yeah, that's
so
part of the reason why we're going to weld it.
Okay.
And then these 4 back here.
Oh, and that's it?
That's it.
Oh.
So we
okay.
have one more to drill that's somewhere in this location. I don't know if it's going to be this one. It looks like it's that one, which is our shock mount. So
Okay.
I don't know exactly what we'll do here. We may end up not using, I don't know. We'll have to figure this out because that's where our bag bracket is over
Right.
there. But this is our shock mount here. And we don't want to move our shock.
Right.
So at least I don't think we do. We may, I don't know yet. I don't know. That's all up in the air. But that is, if you look, I was trying to figure it out. And if you look, this is the hole that we put it in. You can see the oval hole,
Yeah.
oval hole.
Yeah.
And so that's the one that we did put it in over
Okay.
there. So I'm not exactly sure what we'll do there.
And then
Maybe we'll knock it out, drill it out, and we'll put a bolt all the way through it.
okay.
Yeah,
let's
we can
do
just
that.
knock that rivet out.
Yeah. How do you knock the rivet out?
Oh gosh, dude, it's kind of fun. I'll let you do it. It's really noisy. You got to wear ear protection. It's super loud.
Okay.
But anyways, air chisel with a blade there, and you just like, and it shears the front of it off.
Oh my gosh.
And then you put the punch bit in it, and you
Sounds violent.
push the rivet out. So
we got brackets on. Bracket here, bracket there, Ronnie there.
here's the difference in
Show me
the
the
upper
difference.
2 plates from the 3.5 to the 4-inch.
Oh, okay. I see.
So it's quite a bit larger.
Yeah.
So either way, if you're doing the 3-inch,
Yep.
or if you're doing the 4 or the 3.5 or the 4-inch, when you put this on, it doesn't fit.
Oh yeah, you can't get a bolt through there.
So you have to notch these out, and it doesn't matter if this was a 3-inch. This is going to be the same way
Right.
on a 3.5-inch tube.
Okay.
So we got to notch these out. You can cut it straight if you want, but I wanted a little more meat here. So I just notched them out and left these wings on here on the other side. And that's what we'll go ahead and do again. So we'll cut it this direction, and then we'll get under here as tight as we can and cut it up into those 2 cuts. Break it off with a pair of pliers, and
Nice.
we'll have it.
You want more meat, eh?
Yeah, more meat, dude.
There it is, notched out. You should have put that in your mouth, Ronnie.
Oh yeah, that would taste good.
It was probably only 700 degrees.
That's nothing.
So what are we doing now? Ah,
So we go ahead and put this on. Move our brake line out of the way.
we got arms. There are 2 parallel bars right here. Cantilever bar over here. And now I'm gonna stand back and rest while Ronnie does this. I've been doing so much work.
Is that what you always do?
Yes. Hey, somebody has to work the camera, Ronnie. Hater.
I forgot, that's what we do. Where do we put the hammer?
In the
Over
dirt,
there, I see
right over there.
I see it. So, if these don't fit, you got to do some persuading. The best way to persuade them is with a hammer.
That's the best kind of persuasion. You can also persuade people that way.
So most of these will be this size, but the rear for the cantilever bar is a little longer. So put that in. Apparently we need to do some persuading on the middle here. Maybe.
All right, I'm gonna turn the camera off and help you with this because this looks painful. You will do a lot of banging to line up the holes, the
Yeah.
bushings to the mounts, because everything fits pretty tight. So, you gotta kinda
Which is
bang
a good
everything and
thing.
yeah,
Like, that's a good thing.
you don't want to kind of play any loose jiggling or whatnot.
I want some loose jig.
All right, so looks like we got the top parallel bar on, got the cantilever bar on. So what are we doing next? Bottom parallel bar?
The top one?
Oh, that's what you're attaching to the axle right now.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Now note, this is where we cut the head on that bolt right here. Oh, that's loud. This is where we cut the head of that bolt. However, if you have a 3.5-inch axle, you will not need to trim that bolt.
Yeah.
It's dark.
It is dark. So we got it on. We got the rear brag or the rear cantilever bracket on, cantilever's bars on. the whatever this is called, you know, down here the
It's a
axle
tiny
mount
bar.
is on. Upper and lower parallel bars are on. And the way we did this is we put the chassis mounts on first. Then we put the axle mount on, and it's just on there loose. It's not tight at all. And then we put the rear bar, and then we put the upper bar, and we put the lower bar. When you're doing this, you're gonna have to use a jack like we have in here and jack up the nose of the axle, jack up the pumpkin, kind of move things around. That way you can get all these bars to line up because they're made to hold it in place. So they are gonna be tight, and you gotta get the axle in the right spot to get it all to bolt together.
Yeah, all the tolerances were super tight, so we had to use the hammer a lot.
Yeah, so you have to do all that. You may have to clean out some of the holes. He uses a plasma cutter to cut them, and plasma cutters don't cut straight, they cut at an angle. They always cut at a cone. Sorry, I'm pointing.
Yeah, stop pointing the light at me.
Here. So they point it like this, and so you got to clean them out a little.
Yeah, on a couple of the brackets, we had to drill the holes out a little. Not substantially, but enough so the bolts would actually go in.
Yeah.
So know that. And I think we also had to trim some bushing tubes. There were two bushing tubes that we had to trim
on the rear. Both the rear cantilever ones were just
the metal tubes in the middle of the bushings were just like
barely 2
long. Millimeters too long.
Yeah.
So we couldn't smash them in place, and so we just trimmed them. No
Other
big
than that,
deal.
Everything went in easy. Really, this kit isn't that bad. Like, it's not perfect. This is his first kit, so we're giving him a pass. The quality of the kit is really good. It's just small growing pains. The fact that we had a 4-inch axle really messed a lot of stuff up. So we're gonna reach out to him and let him know the troubles that we had, and hopefully he can fix that for us. Well, for you guys, for whoever's next to buy one of these.
Yeah, we fixed it for us.
Yeah. So anyways, that's really it. It's not that bad. We've been out here, what? You got here at 6, it's 8.
Oh, we didn't get the bag on this side.
We didn't get the bag on this side
Let's
yet.
show the bag on the other side.
Yeah.
We'll just go back around there. We showed you this in the beginning of the video, but we did get the bag on. It's a little tricky getting the bag on without having air hooked up to it. We had to, let's see, we mounted the bag to, we had to take this bolt out right here for the cantilever bar. And then we had to put this part up instead of down so that these two plates would be, so that these plates would be closer to each other. Then we bolted them together, and we just like shoved this down, and we just pushed and pushed and hammered and pushed until we could get this bolt back in place. And it worked out. It's stretching it out a little bit, but hey, that's what the bag is for.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna do. So here it is. We think it looks good.
And let's see. One side probably took us, once we knew how to do it from this side, the other side took us 30 minutes.
Yeah, it didn't take long.
Yeah, 30 minutes.
It didn't take long.
You know, a few growing pains from this side, and then, you know, there was a learning curve on that side, and then on this side, it took us 30 minutes. Now we haven't done the bag, which would take probably another 5 minutes, but
yeah,
it's really no big deal. So, is this a 2-hour job? Or a 4-hour job?
I would say give it 4 hours just so you can do the same as us and figure out exactly what you need to do on the opposite side.
Yeah.
If you have a 3.5-inch axle, I think things will be a lot easier and go a lot quicker. And even if he would have just moved the bolt holes over a 1/4 inch, which is what we're going to talk to him about, is moving those bolt holes over a 1/4 inch if he makes more 4-inch sets, that would have solved the big issue. Because the biggest problem, what we were dealing with on the driver's side, was the clearance here. This is what we were fighting with. The clearance between this bar and this bolt.
Right.
It was just hitting. And so that was our biggest headache. And so once we got that under control, it was cakewalk.
Right.
You know, this side, easy peasy. I have never cut a rivet off before, so I had to learn how to do that, which not really that you learn, you just figure it out, like you put it on there and it cuts it off. But that was something that I had to learn on here. Found out that we had to drill the holes. I've been working on this 4-link for what, like 2 weeks now, right?
Yeah.
And it's been small things like, oh, I need to order this drill bit, and I need to get this, and I need to get that. And so that's really it. But we'll get the drill bits down below. That way you guys can pick them up.
Step bits are really useful too.
Step bits are super useful. But the problem is this metal's too thick.
It's crazy thick.
So you're actually cutting with 2 steps at the same time.
Yeah.
And by doing that,
You're making
the
your
step
hole
bit
uneven.
doesn't cut.
Right.
It just doesn't have the grunt there.
Right.
But yeah, that's it.
Yes, the camera can see you. It's kind of nice with the night sky in the back. You got this nice blue background.
Dang.
You look good in blue, Ronnie. My goodness.
Thanks.
In an ocean of blue. An ocean of blue. I should be a poet.
A poet.
Yeah, instead of working on stupid cars. Anyway, look forward to more videos.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all later.
Bye, guys.